On the 29th of July 1990, an Argentinian filly arrived in South Africa. Since her first run at the Vaal on the 28th of February 1991, which she won over 1,000 metres, this filly went on to win an incredible 15 races with 2 seconds and only 3 unplaced runs in a star-studded career. She would go on to be affectionately dubbed the Galloping Gold Mine by flamboyant commentator Clyde Basil, and became the darling of the South African turf in a career that spanned 2 years and 5 months. She was trained by a South African trainer now residing in Hong Kong, Tony Millard. During her illustrious career, she won 8 Grade 1 races, including the Lormerans Queen's Plate, the J&B Met, the First National Bank 1600, 3 Guineas, 2 of which were against the Colts, and to top it all, 2 Administrators' Cups. Both legendary jockeys, including Felix Coetzee and Anton Marcus, both agreed she is the best we've ever ridden. So let's, shall we, reflect on her glittering career.
200 to go now, and Felix Coetzee has just whispered in her ear and said, we've got this one in the bag, don't do too much here. Empress Club is clear by a length and a half, but he's looking all over the place for the opposition, and this is an absolute total for Empress Club. She gets a congratulatory pat with 50 to go and pulls off to win it by 4.
400 metres to go now. Smashing Beauty puts her head in front to Douche on there inside. Empress Club with a length and a quarter to make up. She's looking for a way through. Empress Club looks like she's not going to get through between horses. Exotic Lily on the outside to Douche. Smashing Beauty. Empress Club forces her way through on the inside. Empress Club and Fairy Cove on the stand side. But when Empress Club saw daylight, she won going away.
And this was the day that she smashed her older rivals into submission and proved that she was definitely the very best.
And Empress Club now stretching out to win it easy. Empress Club by 5. Fine Region to a second. But they got no chance with this filly. Empress Club is powering home to victory. Empress Club has won it from Shining Conquest.
And that's Empress Club from Military Muse. And Felix says, Empress, you're the best and I'll do the rest. Empress Club, she destroys them by 4. Military Muse seconds.
And the idol of the turf, Empress Club, humbles the opponents by 4 lengths. Empress Club wins by 5.
Empress Club keeping on. Flaming Rock doing all he can on the outside, but he's got no chance with Empress Club. Empress Club, the champion, goes on to win it. It's Empress Club. Fast Gun trying to come back along the inside, wide out the decorator and unaware, but the filly's going too well, and Empress Club proves she's the champion.
And so Empress Club, who left our shores to race successfully in America, leaves behind a legacy. And it is fitting that Majmu, a daughter of Redute's Choice, who did not take her place in the lineup for the second leg of the Triple Tiara, won in emphatic fashion by Sean Tarry's Siren's Call, was probably a very good decision based on the fact that she had had an interrupted preparation.
Yeah, in retrospect, you're correct. You know, to take on those two at their peak over 1800 and we'll be kind of needing the run would have been extremely difficult to beat them. And in hindsight, with the going the way it was on the day, I'm not sure she would have enjoyed that either. So I think it was a pretty good decision. She's come on a lot from that gallop at the racecourse. Since that gallop, she really has turned the corner. I'm very happy with her at this stage, and it's all systems go for the Empress Club.
What's she like to train? She seems pretty laid back walking onto the treadmill this morning.
Yeah, she's like any good horse. She pushes the boundaries on the track. You know, when you put her with another horse, she really does try her best, and she is pushing the boundaries of you know, what horses do. She's a top horse, and that's what happens. But other than that, she's pretty straightforward, very laid back, eats well. She's given us a few like grey hairs, like the colour of her coat, but otherwise it's been a pleasure to work with her. Great experience. She's a nice horse, and it's always good to work with the top horses.
Your dad's always made the point that the better they are, the faster they run, the more likely they are to get injured. Is it a case of her having travelled down and had travel sickness, or was it just the fact that she needed some time off after that strenuous journey to Cape Town?
Yeah, the problem was that we made plans when she came back to try and get her ready for the Jamie Mets. She didn't get sick coming back, but when we started to put pressure on her to be ready for the match, she didn't pick up her weight. Things started to be a little bit niggly and whatnot, so we had to put brakes and then give her a rest, so that put us behind time, but everything seems to be going well at the moment.
So there are thousands of things that you have to calculate, whether she's going to work on the grass track or the poly track or whatever track, treadmill. There's just so many factors, weight, bloods. I mean, all these things. People think horses just rock up at the races and they're ready.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're not machines. They're flesh and blood, and the hardest part is they don't talk. They don't tell you what they need. You got to use your eye. You got to use your feel. The jockey's feedback, vet's feedback. You got to combine it all just to try and get the filly on the day spot on.
I noticed while she was on the treadmill, you watching her ear movements, her head carriage, all these little things that you can't watch when they're out there on the track. You can see a general overview, but this is a very sort of microscopic way of training horses.
Yeah, it's lovely to be standing right next to the horse. You get a good feel for her, how she's moving, her behaviors. Once she's been on the treadmill a good couple of times, you learn her habits, and it's nice to be able to stand next to her, and when she's at a decent galloping pace, and monitor her heart rate and things like that. It's a big advantage to us.
So just run us by this treadmill procedure one more time. She comes out, probably walks for about 15 minutes before she gets on the treadmill, then take us through the routine.
Yeah, we try and give her a nice warm-up, a nice 5-minute warm-up at an incline, then a bit of a trot, just try and get the muscles nice and loose, and then we break her into a canter and give her a nice, strong, steady canter at an incline. You get the heart rate up without going too fast, without doing too much damage, and it's just basically a maintenance thing for her at this stage. She's pretty fit. We can't get her too much fitter, just keeping her ticking over.
Well, it would be most appropriate for her to win the Empress Club, named after that great filly, and she's heading in the same direction. Obviously, 3-year-olds have had a fairly decent record in this race, receiving the weight for age allowance, of course, depending on the strength of the crop. Are you fairly confident that she will deliver her best performance on Empress Club Day?
I think she'll deliver close to her best performance. She's starting to come well now, but like you say, she'll be needing the run still to a point. She'll improve with the run, and she'll probably be at a peak in her next run. But I think she's fit enough to give a good performance.
At this stage of the game, are you prepared to divulge whether you're going to go for the SA Oaks or whether you're going to go for the Champions Challenge?
Yeah, we haven't really made up our minds. We've just tried to get through this first race. Once she gets through that race, and we'll see how she goes. If she goes well and pulls up fine, then we've got to make a call. And there's a lot of options, which is a nice thing. You've got the Durban Guineas, got the Oaks here, got the Wilgerbosdrift at the end of May. So we've got our options wide open. Like we said before the Classic, we're not going to make a decision for money. We'll make a decision based on the horse. And so we'll just see how she comes out of the race.
But Majmu says, come and catch me if you can. She's already kicked 3, 4, 5 lengths clear of the balance, and she's gearing down to victory. Majmu, hands and heels, wins it from in second in Nara.
This tribute to Empress Club is proudly brought to you by the Race Day Experience and Racing It's a Rush.